Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of the Los Angeles Clippers MyNBA series here on NBA 2K24, and it's a big one here today because we're heading to Philly to face the 76ers. The first time James Harden, that man right there, has returned to Philadelphia since being traded. The tumultuous tenure for him in Philly came to an end when we acquired him a few months ago. And it's his first time back in the city of brotherly love, but I have to think there's not going to be much love here tonight. Hope you guys are excited for this one. If you are, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. Here's a look at the starting lineups of the Sixers. They're going to have Fred VanVleet, Anthony Melton, Jayshawn Tate, Paul Reed, and Joel Embiid, while we will actually be rocking a fully healthy lineup with Harden, George, and Kawhi Leonard all in the starting lineup. The first time we'll get to look at those three playing together. Philadelphia 76ers hosting the Los Angeles Clippers as we get down the stretch of the NBA regular season and on to the playoffs. If we want to make the postseason, we got to win games like tonight. Wells Fargo Center, here is the tip-off, and we are underway, starting off with the Clippers with the basketball, as Westbrook will bring it across the half-court line over to Leonard for a long two, and it connects, and just like that, less than 15 seconds into the game, Los Angeles has the first points on the board thanks to Kawhi Leonard, who's averaging 21.9 points per game and 4.1 assists this season. On the other end is Jayshawn Tate taking the first shot for the Sixers, and he connects on a big-time three. The former Houston Rockets with a tray ball. He came over in the trade that also sent Fred VanVleet to Philly at the deadline. Tobias Harris was on the other end. As here's Paul George getting to the rack, crosses up the defender, slams it home. He's had a great season when he's been healthy. Great before the injury, great after the injury, averaging 22 points on the road this season. We're so glad to finally have him back in the lineup. On the other end, here's Joel Embiid for three, and he's not going to connect. Rebounded by Paul George. He pushes up the court over to Westbrook now. He pulls it back, looking to reset the offense. Screen from Zubats, drives left side, dishes it over to Leonard, gets his man to go for it, and Leonard will drive and draw the foul on Paul Reed. Send the ball to the free throw line. Clippers come into this game 31-40. That's 4.5 games behind the 10th position with 11 games to go. So there's still a chance, and if we continue to play hot basketball like we've been doing, we could potentially make a run at one of those play-in spots, but it's not going to be easy. We got to win games like tonight against Philadelphia. As now, after Leonard makes both of his free throws, here's Jayshawn Tate. He gives it up inside for Embiid, who goes up with it, and he connects with his first points of the ball game. 29 points per game for Embiid this season. I mean, he is the reigning MVP, and he so far, people would say he's the front runner to win it again this season. On the other end, Leonard drives inside, working his way on Reed. Goes up with the left hook off the glass and in. Nice shot there by Kawhi Leonard. As it pushes it now to 8-5. On the other end, here's VanVleet and Westbrook, former Houston Rocket teammates. As Paul Reed now being guarded by Leonard. Waiting on Embiid to come over. He sets the screen. Reed still being tightly guarded by Leonard, one of the better defenders in the league. Causes Reed to actually pick up his dribble. Fred VanVleet has to hack up a three, and it's not going to go down. A good attempt, but unable to get it to fall. Is now George after the rebound on the other end. Gives it over to Westbrook in the corner. He flings it over to Harden. First time actually Harden's actually touched the ball in this game. It's very odd that he has been not involved in the offense. Leonard for three. You know that rattles around the rim and offline. Embiid corrals it. He pushes it up to Anthony Melton. He's going to try to take it right to Harden, but James Harden with good defense doesn't allow that to happen. George gets his third rebound already of the night. Now over to Westbrook, back to George. Screen, he drives right side. Trying to back down his defender Melton. George fades away from the basket. It moves in and out. There's Paul George coming off of a very nice performance in the win against Indianapolis on Monday night. 30 points in that game in the win over the Pacers. Reed now has Zubats on, which means there's a mismatch down low. I think the 76ers trying to get it inside for Embiid. He's being guarded by Westbrook, who actually gives it up. Very interesting play call. VanVleet's going to fire from three, and it's offline. I think Philadelphia might have missed an opportunity there by allowing Joel Embiid to work on the much smaller Westbrook. Instead, after the missed shot, it's on the other end. There's James Harden again, has yet to take a shot. He gives it up again to Leonard, who tries to bang down low. It's not going to work. 7 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Harden with the basketball, gets the screen. He pulls. First field goal attempt of the day is off the mark, and it's rebounded by Joel Embiid. 76ers pushing the pace. They haven't scored in almost over 2 minutes, and they still continues as Van Vliet misses the layup attempt. It was tough, but you got to get those to fall. And Westbrook on the other end is going to draw a foul on Embiid. So a turn of events will send Westbrook to the line. He's averaging just shy of 15 points per game this season. A lot has been made of Westbrook and his play this year. The numbers are obviously down. The shooting percentages are way down. But he continues to somehow score the basketball. To me, I don't get it. His numbers are way down, but he still is very much involved in the offense. Embiid with a hook off the mark, and again, the 76ers scoring drought continues. It's almost at 3 minutes now since they've scored a bucket. Leonard drives inside. He gets fouled down low by Jayshawn Tate. Embiid was almost called for the foul there. I think he actually got the foul, but instead, George will go to the line where he'll make the first. 22 points per game for PG-13 on 90% from the free throw stripe, so he's one of the best in the business. He hits both to no one's surprise. 11-5 is your score. Sixers with only 5 points. We're over 4 minutes into this game. Very, very slow start offensively for Philadelphia as there is a foul on the reach on George. Now, this 76ers team is 54-18. They are the best team in the Eastern Conference, second best team in the league, but they are missing a couple pieces tonight. There's no Tyrese Maxey in the lineup, no Norman Powell, both of them nursing an injury, as there's a tray ball attempt that is, again, a little long. It'll be rebounded again by George. So 76ers not at full strength, only shooting 22% as well, as there's a wide open Westbrook in the corner who connects from 3, and the Clippers on the other end are firing on all cylinders. When Westbrook's hitting threes, you know it's all going right. 14-5 now in favor of the Clippers. They've jumped out to a 9-point lead, and we're 5 minutes into this game. Melton gets stripped by Leonard. That's going to be out of bounds, and we're actually going to go to the end of the first quarter, where it is still a 9-point game. 32-23 is your score. 76ers offense woke up in the second half of that quarter, but the problem is the Clippers never slowed down. Now it's 42-36, a 6-point game here as we're about halfway through the second quarter. But George is looking to change that. He gets right to the rack. Another 2 points for him. He's up to 13 points now on the night in his 16 minutes of play. The Sixers now down by 8 again. Van Vliet being guarded by Westbrook. Over to Embiid, a long 2, and he connects. Nothing but the bottom of the net for the reigning MVP, Joel Embiid, who actually also made an All-Star appearance this year. His 7th time making it to the All-Star game. Leonard on the other end. Nice pass inside for Zubats to finish at the rack. Leonard with a dime inside, just outside the arms of Embiid. And Zubats capitalizes with a layup, pushes the lead back to 8 points. Halfway over the second quarter now. Van Vliet trying to get a screen. It's not working. As two veterans of the NBA continue to do battle defensively. Now here's Zubats being isolated with Embiid. He gives him the long shot and he misses. We'll take that all day. We'll make Embiid shoot the basketball. As now Leonard on the rebound, trying to push it inside. He can't do that. So he's going to back up a little bit. He'll try to reset now over to Harden, who's still been relatively quiet tonight, all things considered. Thought about the 3 ball. He does, and he gets it to connect. Harden with his signature step back. That time actually hesitated a little bit, but he ends up getting the 3 ball to go anyway. Now the Clippers have themselves a double-digit lead, 11 points. 49-38 is your score. As now Van Vliet and the Sixers offense, they got to get something going here. This is not a good performance here at home. As Embiid now continues to body Zubats, creates some separation and gets it to go. Joel Embiid, 10 points in the first quarter. He's done nothing but continue here in the second. Now Leonard brings the basketball up. He's being guarded by his former teammate in Marcus Morris, part of that James Harden trade, as that one is a miss. That one goes in favor of Morris. And on the other end, Tate for 3 in the corner. No, a little long again. Rebounded by George, who continues to rack up those boards. That was not supposed to rhyme. 4.5 minutes to go here in the first half. George isolated on Van Vliet. Gets a screen from Zubats. George gives it up. Zubats isolated on Van Vliet down low. That's a mismatch, and that is up and in, taking advantage of the pick and roll. Makes it again an 11-point game. On the other end, though, a full-court pass to Embiid, and well, there's Zubac's #1 weakness on display there. He is so slow getting back across the court. Embiid beats him to the spot. He slammed it home. 28 points per game for Embiid here at home this season. There's a tray ball from Leonard on the other end, and it's now a 12-point game. Los Angeles not missing so far in the early going. They got 54 points, and there's still 4 minutes left to play in the first half. Melton going to try to answer, gets a screen, fires from 3, and it's a little strong again. Rebounded by Leonard. Pushing the pace once more over to Westbrook. He's going to pull it back a little bit to wait for the offense to set up. Now drives inside over to Leonard, being guarded by Van Vliet. Going to try to isolate this matchup. Goes up and over and in. Embiid couldn't get there with the block in time. Leonard off the glass, and it's been a 14-6 run for the Los Angeles Clippers. They've pushed their lead out now to 14 points. 56-42 as Embiid trying to answer back. He gets by Zubac, and that's an easy layup. Joel Embiid pretty quick with his feet. You can't sleep on him as he's got 18 points here tonight. Doing all he can to will this 76ers team to a victory. As they still trail by 12. Harden down to Leonard in the low post. Being guarded by Morris again. Nice in backdoor pass to Harden at the rim, and Kawhi Leonard with another dime feeds it to Harden, who scores on his former teammates. Harden, obviously, we know how much his relationship with Daryl Morey just kind of evaporated as we've installed him in the show 23. And, well, he tried to get traded in the offseason. It didn't work, so he said, I'm going to play for the 76ers. He got hurt, blamed Philly's training staff for the injury, and vowed to never play again for the 76ers, which is what led the way to him getting traded to Los Angeles. It was him and Furkan Korkmaz for Norman Powell, Marcus Morris Jr., and Terrence Mann, as well as a first-round pick in that trade. And it's been pretty good ever since for Los Angeles, now that all three are healthy. And James Harden is back on the court. They can get back to business. And speaking of business, Embiid slamming it down, calls as a timeout from the Clippers. And we'll go to the end of the first half. The Clippers 65 points in the first half to 52 of Philly. They lead 13 points going into the half. It's been all Los Angeles shooting 55% from the field. The 76ers offense has woken up. They're shooting 50% thanks to Embiid's 26 points. But Los Angeles continuing to fire on all cylinders. They're trying to beat the top team in the East on the road. That's not easy to do. They just got to do it for one more half. As the 76ers will start off with the basketball. Embiid currently in takeover mode to begin the second half. As he gets the ball inside on Zubac. Tries to go up with them and slams it down. More bad defense there by Zubac. I know Embiid's in takeover mode, but you can't allow him just to slam it home like that. Still an 11-point game, though, as Westbrook walks up the court. Gonna hand it off to Harden. Swings over to Leonard, who's also in takeover mode. He had a very good first half. Gets a screen from Zubac. Thinks about the mid-range jumper, and he gets it to go. A swish for the claw. 15 points for Leonard in this one off of 6 of 11 shooting. A very solid night for Kawhi Leonard. It's now Van Vliet on the other end, being guarded by Westbrook. Over to Reed, over to Melton. And again, just trying to run the offense through Embiid. He's on the low block. He has the ball. Spins inside, but he actually gets stripped. I think that was Zubac who got a hand on that one. Nice defense there. Good help. Is now on the other end. The Clippers are going to pull it back. Westbrook hands it off for James Harden, who's now going to hand it off for Kawhi Leonard. Leonard getting screened left side. Wide open for 3. He's in the zone, and he hits from downtown. Kawhi Leonard cannot be stopped. 13 points in the first half. And he picks up right where he leaves off here in the third quarter. Pushes the lead out to 16 now. Embiid from the mid-range on the other end. No good. Rebound by James Harden. Harden pushes it quickly up the floor. He's got Embiid on him. Former teammates. There's a lot of bad blood between those two. Embiid thinks Harden quit on the team. Is now Leonard right side. Mid-range connects again. Kawhi Leonard is hot. He wants to push this win and get this team to the playoffs. Embiid now has it at the top of the key. He's been the lifeblood of this 76ers offense. He needs a little bit of help from his other pieces. I know he's missing Maxey as well as Norman Powell, but you got to get some help, especially if you're the best team in the East. That's a bad shot. Going the other way now. Harden thought about the three-point. Hands it off for Leonard. Resets. Gives it back to Kawhi. Green left side. Mid-range, Leonard again. It's good. From the free throw line, nothing but the bottom of the net. Leonard has 22. He's already got 9 points this quarter. The Clippers lead by 20 over the second best team in the association. A statement here on the road. As Embiid again with it, trying to take Zubac's one-on-one. Embiid gets by him, but gets a little bit of help from Kawhi. He's got like 3 defenders around him. He just gives it up for Reed, who goes to the top of the key. 2 seconds left on the clock. VanVleet has to take a long 2, and he's off the mark. Rebound by Westbrook up to Harden. Inside for Leonard, off the glass, and that one doesn't go. A rare Kawhi miss here recently. As now on the other end, here's Tate again with the ball. Back over to VanVleet. Screen right side. The former Houston Rocket tries to drive inside. Nice spin move, and he gets fouled. They're going to call Westbrook for the foul. Thought he got all ball, but instead, Fred VanVleet will go to the line. He'll make the first free throw. The former Houston Rocket acquired at the trade deadline in the deal to try to beef up the point guard position after they traded James Harden to us. He makes both of his free throws. It's back underneath 20 now. As Russell Westbrook has it, gives it up for Zubac. At the top of the key, the center with the ball. Dribbles right side. It's a handoff for Westbrook. Trying to pull it back a little bit. 8 seconds here on the shot clock. Trying to get George open off ball. He has it. Screen sets. He pulls from the mid-range of his own, and he's not going to get that one to go. It rattles off the rim. On the other end, the Anthony Melton inside. Embiid beats him inside. Gets Kawhi on the foul. That's the Claw's third of the game. As now Joel Embiid will go to the free throw line. As you can see the numbers, last 10 games, Embiid 5th on that board. Like we said earlier, trying to make his case for another MVP season. And he gets both of them to go. Stack down now to a 16-point game. Both teams have been very efficient from the free throw line. Only one miss for both teams. Now Leonard on the other end takes his man isolation, gets by him and slams it down at the rack. Kawhi Leonard has been unstoppable here in the third quarter. We're going to go to the end of this frame. 89-77 your score. 76ers did bring it back a little bit. Now only a 12-point game. So we'll go actually to begin the fourth quarter. It's now 17 points after a minute of play. As the 76ers are starting to run out of time to get back into this one. As Patrick Beverley has the ball at the top of the key. He's being guarded by Bones Highland. He gets the screen left side now over to Morris, our former Clipper buddy. He gives it up for Man, over to House, back over to Beverly. Swinging it around from Obama. Joel Embiid is not in the game. Man has to take a long 3, and it's off the mark. Rebound by Batum. 76ers, another drought. They have not scored since the quarter started. George with it, over to Highland, who takes a long 3, and it's off the line. Bones Highland from downtown, not able to get it to go. That would push the lead back up to 20. Instead, on the other end, here's Patrick Beverley, former Clipper and Chicago Bull. Now over to Man, who tries to drive inside on his former teammate and Paul George. Man doing everything he can to get down low. Gets George even in the air and then misses the layup. Gets his own rebound and back out to Beverly for 3. It's off the mark again. And the 76ers continue to be ice-cold shooting. Here's Martin on the other end trying to drive inside. Hands it off to George. Back over to Highland. They're just going to slow it down a little bit. You got no real urgency. You have to move. Paul George inside for Plumlee. Nice pass, but Plumlee misses the right hook. Too strong off of the glass. House is able to corral it over to Beverly in the corner. Open for 3, and he's off the mark. Those are the kind of shots you got to hit, especially this late in the game when you're down by 17. As now the Clippers back with the basketball. Highland trying to set up George inside on the post. Backing his man down, spins off of him, and that's a tough shot. Not able to get it to go. Patrick Beverly with the rebound. He dribbles it up for Terrence Mann, who was the key piece in that James Harden trade. The Sixers wanted Terrence Mann, and unable to get the trade to work, he was sent to Philly. Now Bamba down low, being guarded by Plumlee. Gives it up for House. Back over to Terrence Mann, who has 4 seconds left here on the shot clock. George in tight coverage has to heave up a deep 3, and it's not going to go. It has been over 3 minutes here in the quarter, and the 76ers do not have a basket. Luckily for them, the Clippers have not scored in quite some time. It's still a 17-point game, but time is obviously on LA's side. George tries to drive. He gets to pick up his dribble. Good defense inside. He resets with a screen. Now taking on man over to Batum. Hands it off for Martin, who only has a half second on the shot clock, and he gets it to go. 23 and a half seconds of good defense, but it was, again, the final half that matters. Clippers shooting 51% on the night, and 76ers a lowly 43. Lead is back up to 19 as the 76ers time may be running out. Bamba works inside on Plumlee. Great defense by Plumlee, forces the miss. Clippers have been playing some stellar defense here today, I do have to say. As now Martin gives it up for Highland, being guarded by Beverly. They're just going to waste a little bit of clock. No hurry here. As Highland now over to George. Wide open for three. PG-13 strong off of the rim. That could have been the ultimate dagger to put him up over 20. Instead, Terrence Mann with the ball. We're inside 8 minutes. Joel Embiid is waiting to get back in the game, and this benefits the Clippers because the longer this goes on, the longer Embiid stays off the floor. 7 seconds to go. Man, just dribbling it around, trying to get a screen from Bamba. He's got two, gives it up for Mo for three, and he hits. Mo Bamba, the former Los Angeles Laker from downtown, pushes it back to 16 now with 7 minutes to go. As Highland, nice step back at the three, and no, off the mark. That would have been a nice play, but he's unable to get it to go. As Morris gives it up to Terrence Mann, who pushes it up the court. Mann, who's been basically the focal point, the key dribbler of this Sixers offense in the second unit. Back with the basketball. George has been playing great defense on him there. As there's going to be a foul, and, well, 16-point lead with 7 to go. A timeout is called. We're going to go to the end of the game. The Clippers win 115-92. Yes, indeed, we made a statement. A 23-point win against the best team on the road, mind you, in the Eastern Conference. A big win for your Clippers here tonight. Embiid had 41 for the Sixers, but he was the whole offense. Van Vliet had 17 points, but it wasn't the most efficient shooting. And then Met was the only other man at double figures. While we were led, of course, by our big three. Leonard had 30. George had 28 and 12 rebounds. Harden had 15. Even Zubats, who, yes, gave up 41 to Embiid, had 16. I thought he played a pretty solid game. A very solid performance for the Clippers. And then we followed up in Orlando by winning 110-108. We barely hold on and win. But Plumlee with the double-double, 20 points leads the teams. That's a big win. Unfortunately, we don't stay fully healthy for long. Highland's going to go back on the injured list with a twisted left ankle. But we're able to win the next game in Charlotte as well, 121-115. So the Clippers not out of the postseason race just yet. Here are your players of the week. Young gets it, as well as Doncic. And it's the end of the month. So your players of the month are Joel Embiid and Luka Doncic as well. And then your rookies of the month, Brandon Miller and Amen Thompson gets it in the West. A different man on that side of the conference. We begin the next week with a loss, 111-105 to the Sacramento Kings. That hurts a little bit, especially as we're down the stretch. George and Harden did not play in that game, mind you. We bounced back at home by beating the Nuggets, the defending champs, 136-103. Porter Jr. had 24 for them, but it was not enough. And our next game is at home against the Utah Jazz, where it's a televised matchup, and the Jazz are the one team in front of us. We are in 13th place. We are 2.5 games out of the Nuggets, who are in 10th. We have 6 games left. They have 5. So every single one of these games matters. The Jazz are another team in that postseason hunt for a play-in spot. So we got to win. Next episode, we're going to find out our fates. We're going to figure out, did we make the postseason, or are we going to be going home? So that's going to be an exciting one. We're playing the Utah Jazz. I hope you guys are ready for it. I hope you guys have enjoyed the series. If you have, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more basketball content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.